Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And today we're doing another Piers Morgan reaction video. I mean, I saw tidbits of this video and I was like, okay, I got to do a reaction to this, man. This is insane. Um, I don't know where Piers brings all these lunatic, like he brings all these people into one panel and then sets it off, and people like me get to do reaction videos to it. It's insane. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it because I think this video is going to be good.
Lionel Messi puts his hand up and says, actually, I'm feeling like a woman today. Do you play him in the American women's national team, Francesca? Yes or no?
Yes, right now. Hell yeah, are you kidding me?
Teenage runner Aidan Gallagher became the Oregon girls 200-meter state champion last week, posting one of the fastest times in the state's history with a remarkable display of power and stamina. But as Aidan crossed the finish line, something, well, pretty unusual happened. Instead of joyous cheering and adulation, many of the watching spectators loudly booed. Well, the same thing happened when Gallagher received a gold medal on the podium, but the runner-up was loudly cheered when she received her silver. And there's an explanation for all this. Gallagher is a transgender athlete who was born a biological male and therefore has a vastly superior physiology to show for it. And as viral video clips from the race show, Gallagher towered over many of the competing girls, displaying greater height, power, and speed that frankly made a mockery.
Why do they keep doing this? Like, how do they think this is going to play out? Like, if I'm going to be completely honest, how do they think this is going to be, this is going to play out in the long run? They don't, they don't think men will take advantage of this. They don't think people will take advantage. They don't think women will be affected by this. They don't think sports, the integrity of any sports would be, affected by this. I mean, could you imagine? Could you imagine? Even though this is in a, I think, high school, but could you imagine like the WNBA having this issue? Could you imagine the NBA? Well, it would never happen because I don't know any chick that is coming to NBA. But could you imagine if this goes like in the actual professional realm? I was watching one UFC fight where this trans person almost killed a woman. This is like how long. I know people are trying to, virtue signal. I know people are going to try to, the ESG, the DEI, all that good stuff. But when it comes to actually robbing women of chances, robbing women of scholarships in school, title titles in their in the actual sports that they are playing. I mean, do they even want women to? Because some women will be like, this is not fair. F it. I'm done with this. I'm out. Because that is what it's leading to. Human beings will always be humans. And for you to expect that people are not going to take advantage of this, all I got to do is put on a wig, say I'm a chick now, and I start competing in women's sport. Like how unfair. This is it's just lunacy. It's just lunacy from my own perspective. This is just a lunacy. This is not fair. It it doesn't even make any sense. Like it doesn't even make any sense. God, man. Every day I keep thinking one day people are just gonna look at this and say, okay, this is lunacy, this is insane. We entertained it for a little bit, we experimented with it for a little bit, and then it's all we're gonna put a pin on it, we're gonna scratch it out. If you're a man, you're gonna compete in men's sports. If you're a woman, you're gonna compete in women's sports. That's it, point blank, period. I always think we're gonna get to this point, but it's like every day we're going further and further away from that. And it's scary. Personally, it's scary.
be heard loud and clear. Well, joining me to debate this and more are comedian and podcaster James Barr, uncensored contributor Esther Krakow, Outkick host Tommy Laren, and the host of the Bituation Room podcast, Francesca Fiorentini. So welcome to all of you. Tommy, let me start with you. I watched a video of this as a father of a 12-year-old girl who loves a bit of sport. And honestly, my heart just sank. When I heard the booing, I was thrilled, not because the athlete was being booed. I felt awful for the trans athlete, but because I finally felt that the silent majority were finding their voice. What did you think?
Yeah, I also think that it's big that this happened in a place like Oregon. Oregon is not conservative, maybe certain parts, but certainly the majority of Oregon is certainly more on the left side. So I think the fact that the crowd is saying, hey, this is unacceptable, that's a big moment. But we just have to stop denying this, Piers. I mean, the silent majority, and I would agree that the majority, actually, the more vocal majority now, is saying that this is absolutely ludicrous. And listen, I think we need to stop talking about biological men competing against biological women in women's sports. This is a trans person, a trans woman competing against actual women. Stop dismissing women by calling us biological women. We are just women. So I want to put that out there first.
Yeah, I agree.
Why are we constantly, and when I say we, why is popular culture constantly asserting that trans people, their feelings, their emotions, their inclusion is more important than the majority of women who just want to have fairness, want to compete, want to have achievements, accomplishments, and opportunities? Why do their feelings matter more than the feelings of the women that they're competing against? It's ridiculous. We keep coddling and kowtowing to this madness. I hope we're seeing the end of it, and I think within the next couple of years we will.
Yeah, I mean, I'm amazed that every woman, frankly, doesn't agree with you because the unfairness and inequality is so obvious. But Francesca, I can see you actually going berserk here with indignation. So presumably you don't agree.
I mean, please don't speak for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, either of you, please don't speak for me. Please don't speak for all women. Just let's get that out of the way right now, because I do disagree. I think about what if your 12-year-old kid was Aiden?
What are the chances for your child to be? What are the chances for your child to be trans? Like, what are the chances? If you're not a liberal, not a progressive, not on the left, your ideology is in no way, shape, or form, left leaning, and then you live in an area where you're not around, left wing people, or you're not around things that could influence your child to think that he or she is the opposite sex. What are the chances of that actually happening? I'm going to say zero. Complete zero. And that is the honest truth. Children don't just magically say, oh, I think I'm the opposite sex. It just doesn't happen. I believe personally they're influenced. What they see on social media, the perks of being, nowadays in school, when you're identified as part of the, LGBT, you get applauded. You get recognized. You get special treatment. People look at you differently. And children, they're influenced by that. You cannot tell me that, what was it? There was a survey that more than half of the Gen Z population are LGBT. That is insane. That is just lunacy. It's all influence. It's all influence. Why didn't we have this back in the 60s, the 50s, the 40s, 100 years ago, 200 years ago? We didn't have this. All of a sudden now, it's all rainbow everywhere. It's all influence. All of it is all influence. So the chances of your child, especially when you don't believe in that stuff, when you don't condone that stuff, when you don't practice that stuff, when you are not around people that practice that stuff or that do that stuff, the chances of your child being influenced to think that they are the opposite sex is zero. That's just what I believe. Anyway, let's get back into it.
That'd be incredible. Wouldn't you be proud of Aiden?
No.
And how much would it?
No, absolutely not. Unless that child had not even reached puberty, and in the case of my daughter, for example, and someone is trying to convince her that if you just put your hand up and say that you're a boy, you can suddenly compete against a different biological sex. I'd say it's all madness.
Piers, this is what's crazy about it. Do you think that that's what's driving trans women to compete as athletes, is that they're like, if I transition to become a woman, I can win a gold medal in a high school track and meet competition.
Well, now hang on, Francesca. I don't care.
That is so absurd to me. It's the same thing. Hang on, let me speak.
I don't care. The reality is they're doing it, right? And the point is that, to me, the answer is obvious.
They're not doing it to win a medal. They're doing it because that is their identity.
But they're winning medals at the expense of actual women who can't compete with them physically.
Okay.
It's why we separate the sexes.
You know what? Like, I actually Googled this.
Hang on. I'll come to you too.
I'm embarrassed to be a woman when I see women freaking out about trans women winning one out of so many competitions.
It's not just one.
Okay.
It's happening in swimming with Leah Thomas.
Hang on.
It's happening in all sorts of sports.
Yes, because it makes us look really pathetic, honestly. It makes us look like losers and whiners. And guess what? I'm not a loser or a whiner. You know what I actually want to talk about when it comes to women's sports? Why is Caitlin Clark being paid 80 times less than her counterpart entering the NBA?
Well, that's quite straightforward too.
Because nobody watches
Women don't want to talk about that.
Hold on. Can I ask you a question?
Women don't want to ever talk about that.
Let me ask you a question. If I hit you over the head with a bat and I said the plan wasn't to kill you, it's because you had a fly in your head, would you still not go to the police for assault? Does my intention matter? Because that's exactly what you just said.
I'm just trying to Rube Goldberg, whatever the hell it is you're saying.
That's exactly what you said. Just because trans people are not identifying as trans to basically erode women's sports, that makes it okay. That's exactly what they're doing. This is
you think that's what they're doing? You think trans people were put on earth
Let me finish.
You know what the issue is? Women's sports.
You know what the issue is? You know what the issue is? You know what the issue is? They are useful idiots like you that are validating ascientific nonsense. There's no such thing as gender identity. Being trans identifying is a mental illness, a reality that exists only in your head, should not be validated, and specifically not at the expense of people that are just going about their business trying to win sporting tournaments or trying to use
There's useful idiots like you that are leading to the death of trans people. Because guaranteed.
Wow. I have never seen anyone on TV say the obvious truth. Like I have never seen this before. I've never seen anyone talk the way that this black chick just did, man. She just said everything that we all are thinking, but you couldn't say it on national television. I don't know if it's national. I don't think it. Maybe it is. I don't know whether this is national, but it's on TV. And for her to come out and say this is just common sense. It's all in your head. We all know it's all in your head. But for her to come out and say, I'm impressed. Like, she just said everything. All this trans stuff she just, in one sentence, she just summed it all up. It's all in your head. It's all made up. Anyway, I don't even want to go into it. But I'm impressed by this chick, man. I am seriously impressed that she had the audacity to say this on TV. And this liberal chick, bruh, the way she talks, the way, like, you see how the other people are talking, Piers, the other two ladies, very professional. Look at the way she's dressed. Like, anyway, she doesn't even talk in a proper, like, she's calling Piers buddy and all that. Like, you're on TV. Have some decorum. If you have a point to make the point instead of throwing up, ad hominems. Oh, Christ. Well, let's get back into it.
And you can basically go to an island where all women think like you, and you can compete with all the biological men you want, but do not impose your backward views on the rest of us and have the audacity to call us regressive.
Okay, Francesca, you respond. I'll come to James.
My response is this: look, I care more about human life and people. Actually, I care about the right to privacy. I care about people surviving and living in this world. Yes, I do.
You don't seem to care about the right to privacy of biological women not wanting to share their spaces with biological men. What about them?
What about the number of trans youth who
hold
commit
on.
suicide every single year?
What about biological women not wanting to share a bathroom with a biological man? Talk about that. Don't do what about, answer that question. What about them? Do they not matter?
Look, lady, you can go into every bathroom and pick a fight with every person who you think is in the wrong bathroom. That's your prerogative.
If a man goes into a bathroom with my daughter,
a teenager,
what should I do?
A teenager being booed. Guys, let's not bully, okay? I believe it was Melania Trump who said, "Be best," and we know what bullying leads to.
What?
Stephen Miller.
You know what
bullying. Okay, but Francesca, I'm going to come to James, but because to me it's conflating two issues. You can absolutely support trans rights to fairness and equality, as I do and consistently have, but you can also see that there is obviously a massive problem now increasing now in women's sport. And there's a reason, and we've had this conversation, James, but you gave a preposterous answer last time. There's a reason we separate sexes in the Olympics, in the World Championships, because otherwise women would never win anything.
Look, I think
so. That's why we do it. It's not because women aren't great athletes.
Women would never
They're great
win
athletes
anything.
when competing against people physically born.
Listen,
like
I have so much to say. I want to explode. Firstly, Esther, you're the only thing making anyone angry or incensed right now. So you're causing me a mental health issue. So really, if there's a mental illness, it's actually you. I would like to take a pill
you can all be mentally unwell
you
together.
From my life. Going back to the state here, like.
My man is so sexy with his clean-shaved head.
Baldies can't get enough of the Baldy Pro.
Most of the female winners in this sport, they are hitting around 22 to 24 seconds, which is exactly what the gold medalist won here. And then also following up with what you said.
What's your point?
My point is, this is normal for a woman.
No, you're
missing the normal speed for a woman in a race. But let's get back to what you're saying. You're talking about women's safety in changing rooms. Let me finish, please. You're talking about women's safety in changing rooms. That's what Esther brought this conversation down to. But what I do know about is that 1 in 3 women in America are abused violently in their lifetime. And in every single day in America, 13,000 women are a victim. Why are we talking about one trans woman being in a changing room?
How dare you, a man, say anything about women feeling unsafe?
I am allowed to talk about safety
with biological men. No, you can't, because you're not a woman. You have never had a period. You've never been a woman in a woman's toilet.
What I'm saying, Esther, is that you're picking on one. Well,
I'm not picking on that. I'm talking about the fact that women around the world are being affected because we are validating a scientific.
But wait, you're shouting at biological men. Your words. Why am I? And you're allowed to talk about biological men. So why am I not allowed to talk about women?
Hang on. We are conflating various issues here. So let's get back to the actual issue we.
This is crazy. Yeah, we're gonna stop it here. This is ridiculous. If I'm gonna be completely honest, I mean the liberal chick, and the liberal, like, you could see. Why is it that you can always tell liberals, like, by the way they dress, by the way they look, their mannerisms, like, you could just tell, okay, these people are just progressive, and you know that in about 10 seconds they're about to say the most craziest, the most they're gonna have a very insane take on things, on everyday things. I don't know, with them, left is right, up is down. They have no objective hold on reality. It's just feelings. That's why it's almost impossible for me to relate to the left or progressivism. It's just all on your feelings and the things in your head. Your feelings dictate your reality. It's insane to me. It's lunacy to me. This whole video, especially when they start talking, is all lunacy. These people don't have any grasp on reality. Anyway, if you like the video, please hit that like button, hit the share button, leave your comments down below. I would love to read them. And if you may, please subscribe. You have a good one.